Even top-tier geniuses like Killua and Kurapika might not be able to pull something like that off. Gon would stand absolutely no chance of replicating this feat of genius. Hey, what's up everybody? It's LeeLos, and today we're talking about why adult Gon versus Netero is obvious. Stay steady in pursuit of your dreams and goals. You're born to win, you're made for greatness, and I definitely believe in you guys. Keep up the great work each and every day. So, Gon versus Netero is a battle between a genuine monster of a human being with legendary potential versus the leader of the entire Hunter organization. Today we're going to analyze every single power-up and ability these two monsters have displayed to find out overall who's more powerful than who between these two characters. To start the video off, we have the adult Gon transformation that decimated Pitou versus the old man Netero that battled Meruem. Togashi gives us a good understanding about the strength difference between these two characters because they both have battles with the same royal guard, Pitou. Netero, the moment the battle begins, sends Pitou flying with his initial attack using his Buddha hand Hatsu. The databooks state that Netero is a tier above Pitou in intelligence, spirit, and Nen proficiency, meaning Netero is overall a more skilled Nen user than Pitou, and a good argument could be made that Netero would defeat Pitou in a drawn-out battle. Despite this, Pitou's strength and durability is heavily implied to be significantly superior to Netero's. Not only do Netero and Cult both state that Pitou is stronger than Netero is, but there's numerous context clues throughout the series that support this idea even further. The main one being that Chimera Ant biology is absolutely insane. The majority of strength and defense in Hunter x Hunter comes from Nen, to the point where even superhumans like start of series Gon, Killua, and even Phaeton almost die just by being exposed to the slightest amount of malicious aura without Nen protection. Despite this, Chimera Ant biology is so powerful that even low-ranking officer ants like Ramot can stay conscious after taking a full-power rock attack from Chimera Antarch Gon, and Ramot does this before even learning the basics of Nen. Meanwhile, veteran hunters like Knuckle, a character so skilled that Gon states his physical abilities are on par with Kite's, is instantly one-shot KO'd by this same rock attack, even after Knuckle put his Nen defense up at full power. With the second highest possible ranked Chimera Ants, the Royal Guard, being so vastly superior to pre-Nen Ramot that comparing the two is almost insulting. Ramot, even after getting Nen, was still just an officer class ant, a level of power that end of Chimera Ant Gon and Killua can both one-shot decimate even without their Hatsu abilities. Gon and Killua's massive jump in power throughout the Chimera Ant arc was due to many factors, a significant one being their second round of training with Bisky. During this month-long training arc, Gon and Killua made a year's worth of progress in just a few days, then went on to gain significant battle experience and learned methods for overcoming their own individual weaknesses. Killua gained an additional power boost on top of this due to removing the Nen needle from his head, and Gon gained an additional power boost from his rage amps. Despite the massive amount of power Gon and Killua both gained throughout this arc, Pitou's strength was still so overwhelming that Killua states, even with Gon, Palm, and Killua all working together at full power, there was a real possibility that Pitou would solo the entire squad. Putting all this into perspective, the story heavily implies that Pitou scales above Netero in strength and durability, either due to simply having massively more aura than Netero, or superior physical biology, or a combination of both, especially when you consider the highball interpretation of Pitou versus Netero. Not only did Pitou take Netero's Hatsu attack directly and receive absolutely zero notable or lasting damage from it, but according to Zeno, Netero's goal was to separate Pitou from the king, sending Pitou flying as far as possible. A highball interpretation of this scene is that Netero hit Pitou close to as hard as he possibly could with a single Hatsu strike, and it still did almost zero damage. Adult Gon, on the other hand, instantly punched a hole through the chest of post-mortem Nen Pitou, a character that the narrator states was significantly stronger than the original Pitou so due to having its aura amplified from the post-mortem Nen. And Gon does this without even using his Hatsu abilities, meaning Gon, even without Hatsu, scales massively above Netero's Buddha hands in attack power, the same Buddha hand that didn't even leave a scratch on the original Pito. And with attacks like Rock, Gon becomes dozens of times stronger than his normal punches. In complete honesty, it's debatable if Netero would be able to one-shot a royal guard like Pito, even using his Zero hand, which is Netero's strongest ability and likely his conditional Nen ability, where he pours all of his aura into one attack. Meanwhile, Adult Gon is one-shotting Pito effortlessly with his bare hands and no Hatsu amps of any kind. The difference in strength is so massive that any physical attack Gon lands on Netero would tear him apart like toilet paper, in a similar fashion to how Meruem was ripping Netero's limbs off with ease, while Meruem was doing his absolute best not to kill him. The difference between Adult Gon and Netero's overall raw power is absolutely disgusting. With Gon's Hatsu multipliers, it's very likely to be an even bigger strength gap than the gap between Meruem and Netero was. Despite this, the skill gap and overall fighting intelligence gap between Gon and Netero is massive as well, and this tips the odds of victory in Netero's favor. Gon does not have the intelligence required to bypass Netero's Buddha hands the way Meruem did. There's a real possibility that almost no one in Hunter x Hunter would have been able to pull that off other than Meruem. Meruem, after being hit by a few thousand attack patterns, memorized and accurately predicted Netero's remaining unseen millions of flawless attack patterns. Meruem literally saw less than 1% of Netero's full arsenal and had already memorized and accurately predicted the remaining 99% of Netero's attack patterns that he never even displayed. It was so insane that Netero states this level of pattern recognition is basically the same thing as seeing into the future. Even top-tier geniuses like Killua and Kurapika might not be able to pull something like that off. Gon would stand absolutely no chance of replicating this feat of genius. So the question becomes, can Gon survive thousands of hits from Buddha hand without taking damage like Meruem did, or would Gon just get pummeled into the ground immediately? The answer is, if Meruem was using his full power Nen defense against Netero, then the answer is no. In that case, it would be much more likely that Adult Gon would get pummeled into the ground by Netero. But if Meruem was just tanking the Buddha hand slaps with normal durability or just using basic Nen defense 10, then it's an almost guaranteed yes, Gon could take thousands of hits like Meruem did while taking little to no damage. This is heavily implied by numerous statements and context clues throughout the series. Pito states that Gon, the moment he transformed just standing there, was already so powerful that he was a genuine threat to the life of the king, with some translations saying he was equal in power to the king. The reason this is impressive is because without Nen, Meruem, being the king of all Chimera ants, has vastly superior physical biology to Gon. In other words, Meruem's body without Nen is many tiers more powerful than Gon's body without Nen, but Gon has so much aura that it makes up for the gap in Gon and Meruem's base physical abilities, so much so that it makes Gon a rival to Meruem even when Meruem adds his own Nen on top of his superior base form, meaning Gon's total aura reserves are absolutely insane, and it's very possible that he has the most aura displayed out of any character in the series, even above Meruem, but likely still below the total aura reserves of post-Rose Meruem. Bisky goes on to say that if your Nen output is greater than that of your opponents, then they can't even damage you, which is why Gon and Killua were able to do Ryu sparring with one another. It's why Gon was able to block Genthru's explosions, and it's why Gon was able to take dozens of attacks from the Owl and Bat Chimera ants while taking 0 damage. And finally, Ken defense is several times more powerful than basic 10 defense, shown by Gon stating in his battle with Knuckle that without Ken, Gon would have been one-shot KO'd by one of Knuckle's warm-up punches, but due to using Ken the entire battle, Gon was able to take dozens of attacks and keep on fighting. Putting all that into perspective, if Meruem was just using basic 10 defense and still took thousands thousands of attacks from Netero while feeling little to no damage, it's very likely that adult Gon could perform the same feat using his full power Ken defense, something that's many times stronger than 10 defense, especially considering that Gon is a rival to Meruem even without using his Hatsu abilities. But if Meruem was using his full power Ken defense to perform this feat against Netero, then it's more likely that Meruem surpasses Gon in durability due to his King Chimera Ant biology. So Gon would not get one shot, but thousands of attacks from Netero would do more damage to Gon than it did to Meruem. All that being said, what are Netero and Gon's win conditions? Netero's best chance for victory would be to slap Gon around and keep his distance until Gon's transformation runs out. Gon's transformation doesn't last forever. To put into perspective how fast the fight between Gon and Pitou actually was, Gon's transformation doesn't even start until several pages after Killua had already began sprinting to Gon using Godspeed at full power. And by the time Killua gets there, Pitou had already died a long time ago. Gon's transformation is either a transformation with a time limit that only lasts for a few minutes, or it lasts until Gon runs out of aura, because the transformation existed even after Pitou died. If the transformation is based on Gon running out of aura though, this would be problematic because Gon has so much aura that there's a chance Netero would run out of aura before Gon's transformation runs out. In that case, Netero's next best option would be to beat Gon down with tens of thousands of Buddha hand strikes. That being said, if Gon's full power Ken defense matches the power of the defense Meruem displayed, then Netero winning just by beating Gon down becomes an extremely difficult endeavor. After thousands of hits, Gon would barely be feeling any damage, and if Netero fires Zero Hand too early, Gon would walk it off, just like Meruem did. But if Meruem was using his full power defense against Netero, then Netero has a very good chance of being able to win a drawn out battle against adult Gon, and might even be able to win the battle without using Zero Hand if Netero's patient enough. To put this strategy into better perspective, at the pinnacle of his fight with Meruem, he fired about 1,000 attacks in roughly 1 minute, meaning it would take Netero a total of 16 hours just to go through 1,000,000 attacks, which would at most be only half of his total attack arsenal. So if Netero can keep Gon at a distance, the odds of Netero being able to outlast Gon's transformation are very high. As long as he doesn't fire Zero Hand too early to a point where Gon survives it, then Netero would win. And considering the fact that Netero is a 100-year Nen veteran, he's very likely to be patient enough to pull this strategy off. And you could make a very good argument that the only reason Netero used Zero Hand on Meruem at all was because Meruem was smart enough to rip his limbs off, something Gon very likely would not be able to do. Now, what are Gon's win conditions? Gon is so powerful that if he lands even one casual attack on Netero with or without Hatsu, Netero is going to die. But since Gon lacks the intelligence to maneuver through Netero's millions of attack patterns, his only real chance at landing an attack on Netero would be to catch Netero in a John Ken combo, explained by Killua in Gon's battle against Knuckle. The initial charge up of massive power causes the opponent to hesitate because they know the attack will be massively powerful, but they don't know if it will be a short, medium, or long range attack. Gon then uses this opening to fire paper, forcing Netero to dodge into an area where he's now open for rock or scissors. This strategy actually would have defeated Knuckle if Gon did not run out of aura. And seeing how adult Gon's aura is absolutely ridiculous, this strategy becomes much more effective. Even Gon's weak attacks like paper become extremely dangerous. The max potential highball interpretation for adult Gon's paper attack is that it would be 80% as powerful as adult Gon's full power rock, due to Gon only having 80% efficiency in the emitter category. A lowball estimate is that paper still has the same multiplier Kid Gon's paper had, which was in the range of 12.5 to 25% the power of Kid Gon's rock. Or in other words, Kid Gon's paper was relative in attack power to Gon's normal punches without using Hatsu. Seeing how Gon just standing there was a threat to Meruem, and then rock makes him dozens of times stronger than that, his paper alone would be a dangerous attack for Meruem, let alone Netero, who's basically a toddler compared to Meruem in power, considering the fact that Gon's normal punches were critically damaging Royal Guard members, and even going as far as to one-shot decimate them in their stronger evolved post-mortem Nen form. Meanwhile, Netero's Buddha hand doesn't even leave a scratch on the original Pito. Blocking the power of adult Gon's paper is very unlikely for Netero. Netero's only real option would be to dodge the attack, which, as explained by Killua, would leave Netero open to the John-Ken combo attacks that Gon performed on Knuckle, in which case rock, scissors, paper, or even a normal unnamed attack from Gon would absolutely destroy Netero. All that being said, both Gon and Netero would have about 1 to 2 win conditions on each other respectively, and it really depends on who executes their win conditions first, but Netero would overall be slightly more likely to win due to the very real possibility that adult Gon's transformation might only last for a few minutes. So how would the fight go against Prime Netero? Against Prime Netero, it's almost guaranteed that Prime Netero would win 100% of the time, because he's the same as Old Man Netero, only twice as powerful and twice as fast, meaning Gon's one and only win condition using his John-Ken combo becomes even less effective against Prime Netero, because Prime Netero would be even more likely to dodge the John-Ken combo attack than Old Man Netero was. Overall, the odds of Prime Netero outlasting adult Gon's transformation are much higher than the odds of Gon landing his John-Ken combo on Prime Netero. Now finally, how would it go with a true adult Gon versus Prime Netero? True adult Gon being a hypothetical Gon that reached his full potential naturally by training. True adult Gon would literally have just about a 100% chance of victory against Prime Netero or Old Man Netero, because true adult Gon would be adult Gon plus 20 to 30 years of Nen battle experience with the mentality of a true adult Nen master, plus having a conditional Nen ability of his own exponentially stronger than his rock ability. Conditional Nen is stated to be an exponential multiplier so large that it makes your normal Nen multipliers look like addition in comparison. So true adult Gon's conditional Nen ability would be an attack exponentially stronger than his rock ability, an ability that already scales to being several to dozens of times more powerful than Meruem. Essentially, imagine adult Gon using a zero hand of his own. This is actually a very good depiction of what true adult Gon's conditional Nen ability would look like, because Netero and Gon are both enhancers. It's a real possibility that true adult Gon would be relative to Rose Bomb level attack power using his conditional Nen ability. There's a few things throughout the series that imply this as well. For example, Uvogin, an enhancer with potential not even a fraction as large as Gon's, is stated in the manga that his Big Bang impact was about as powerful as a small missile, and Uvogin's dream was to make his punch as strong as an atomic weapon. Seeing how Uvogin's potential is absolutely nothing compared to Gon's, it's very likely that full potential adult Gon's conditional Nen ability would scale to Uvogin's dream. Furthermore, during the Chimera Ant arc, Bisky states it takes about 1 month to increase your Ren by 10 minutes. A few days later, Gon and Killua increase their Ren by a total of 120 minutes, and can now maintain Ren for 3 hours. By pushing their potential to the limit, Gon and Killua both make more than a year's worth of progress in just a few days, and go much further beyond that by the end of their 1 month training arc. Despite this, at the end of the training arc, Bisky states they only completed half of her planned training. Bisky is kinda crazy, and she was trying to make Gon and Killua accomplish about 2 years worth of training in 1 month, and Gon and Killua are so talented that they still accomplished more than half of it. We don't know what else Bisky wanted to teach them before they went to battle the Royal Guard, but seeing how there was a possibility they were going to face enemies that defeated Kite, it's a pretty good theory that she was going to teach them conditional Nen abilities, because conditional Nen makes you exponentially more powerful very quickly, as shown by Kurapika when he slapped around Uvogin. All this to say, the adult Gon that decimated Pito Kirito, who in all actuality still just had the mind of a child, had a long way to go before reaching true adult Gon's Nen master potential. All of this is not even mentioning the huge role battle experience plays, as it allows you to defeat characters much stronger than yourself. There's numerous examples of this throughout the series, such as when Knuckle had a real chance of defeating characters 10 times stronger than himself like Yuppie just by using battle experience, and the narrator states that in all of Knuckles' battles, fighting people with extraordinary power wasn't even a rare occurrence to him. And finally, the fact that Gon might develop Jing level intelligence as he grows older and may become a character about as smart as Kurapika and Killua in the future on top of all that power, there's literally nothing Prime or old Netero would be able to do against true adult Gon. He's just simply way too much of a monster. The moment he activates his conditional Nen ability, the fight ends. That's everything I wanted to say. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see ya on the next one.